Good evening and welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Enemchuku, and joining me in the studio as always I have with me Ifoma Oji. Good evening, how are you doing?
Good evening, Sharon. I'm very well, as always.
As always. You're always very well, of course. All right, now we're going straight to the two major stories that we have for today. First, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, former Kanu governor and key NNPP figure, has revealed his terms to return to the APC. Yes, the same party he once walked away from. The big question, are they desperate enough to take him back on his own terms? Meanwhile, the presidency has clapped back at Nasser El-Rufai, making it crystal clear Tinubu is not seeking third-term ambition, and 2031 is the finish line. But can we take that to the bank? Well, we'll find out. Anyways, these are the two stories that will be treated. First off, we are starting with Rabiu Kwankwaso's alleged return to the APC, or the conditions that he's given to the APC before he can finally move to the APC. Now, to you, Ifoma, what can you explain to us what exactly Mr. Kwankwaso is asking for before he can make his return to APC?
Okay, he's basically saying that he can't return to the party without getting something tangible in return. And he kind of reminded the party that is APC, that he was once among the people that built APC, but APC kind of threw him under the bus when they won the election, and that was when he kind of formed this new party, NNPP, and him being the flag bearer of NNPP, he contested for the election. I think that was at 2020.
The presidential election, yes,
which he didn't get to win. So the party have been having, some internal crisis, and he formed his own kind of movement, which is Kwankwaso movement, and now he's saying that they want to, him and his cohorts want to join APC, but that they can't join APC without having something in return, that he wouldn't want what happened then when he built APC to repeat itself again. So that this time around, that the deal here will now be APC giving his party or his movement a fraction in that party, that is in APC. That's number one. And then number two, them attaining positions, official positions, and not just mere normal positions, but positions like governors, senators, and the rest of them. That's his party. That is Kwankwaso movement in that APC. And he equally mentioned that he would want the whole deal, the whole arrangement to be made public, so that when anything happens in the future, he can go back and tell them, this is a deal, it was made public. You understand? So that was basically what he is saying about here. But everything I'm seeing here is kind of him and his movement, Kwankwaso movement, trying to survive, trying to, fight for survival, not necessarily because of political ideology. And he pushes to ask the question, do these people really even care about people, or the people that they want to go?
All right, let me hold your thoughts on that. Now, moving on to the claims or the conditions that he has come out to give, not just for him but for his movement and the members of that movement, and with everything that he has listed out. Now, he mentioned something as well, that he does not want a situation where the presidency would use him to win the election, and after winning the election, now dumping him and his movement, the Kwankwaso movement. When you say use, is this? Do you think this is all legal, in the sense that he has influence in the north, or does this beg to the fact that, like some people say, that he has assisted the president in rigging elections? Or is this just on the basis of, I have influence and I'm going to use my influence to win you votes from the northern region?
Yes, I think the president have already seen that he has that influence, for the fact that, I mean, he even came up for presidential election, and for the fact that he kind of was among those that championed the emergence of NNPP. So I think he already have, his people in the north. He has large followings, in the north.
Yeah.
So if that number of persons could actually troop in to APC stand a chance of winning 2027 election, because it's more like a total, maybe to an extent, representation of the north.
Now, but do you think he's asking the right questions here? Is he saying, okay, Mr. President, I want to see what exactly that you have planned for your second tenure, or is this just on a business transactional basis?
I don't see it. I think I mentioned it earlier that I don't see it as maybe like this is he's having political ideology. I'm not seeing that. I'm actually seeing it that he wants to, him and his movement, the people he's leading, want to survive. So it's not even about asking the president what he's bringing to the table for 2027. It's about him and his movement surviving and not being trashed out after winning the election.
Now, what does this say about the political atmosphere? What does this say for Nigerians now, where you have someone as powerful as Kwankwaso from the northern region just saying that, hey, as long as you are able to secure my position or my political position come 2027, you have my support. And there's something he also said, he made it public, that even if it's PDP that wants to come into alliance with them, that they should just make it public. Now, what he's trying to say, from what I can read from the stone, he's trying to protect and safeguard the interest of him and his members, the Kwankwaso movement. Are these the terms that political stalwarts like Kwankwaso should be negotiating on?
It's not supposed to be so. In as much as, I mean, everybody is a political animal, and in every environment you try as much as possible to survive. I mean, what he's clearly doing is trying to avoid this thing of what is it called, once bitten twice shy. That's what he's trying to. So coming to your question earlier, you mentioned where does this leave people, what are people's perspective based on this his new demand or anything like that. I'm like, it goes a long way to show you that, I mean, politics in Nigeria is all about transactions. You understand? They don't care about you. They don't even care whether this person that is emerging or the person that will emerge the winner for the 2027 presidential election is even credible, or if the person even have integrity. They don't care about it. It's all about what will benefit them. It's all about their selfish gain. That is what they are after. So that's literally what it is.
And then this just says a whole lot about what is at stake for us as Nigerian and the state of democracy. Earlier today, this morning, with Mr. Daniel Sacramento and Mr. Oladimiji, we had a discussion about what's still happening in Rivers State, the Fubara and Wike political warfare that many suspect has died down now after the state of emergency has been called off. But still talking about the fact that people like Kwankwaso can come out in the public and say such things, we can liken it to the power that Wike has, in the sense that a lot of people have been insinuating that Wike is instrumental. Not just insinuating, he has also come out with his public tone to suggest that he is instrumental to the affairs, to the success of the current administration, that is the Bola Ahmed-led administration. Now, when we are talking about democracy, and what is on the table is not the betterment of the citizens and the betterment of the nation, but it is for personal pocket gain. It is for your personal enhancement. Now, with this sort of discussion and how it has been made public, what do you think should be Nigeria's response or acceptance? How do you think they should posture themselves, especially to what Kwankwaso has come out to say now?
Well, Nigerians have sure suffered.
We have.
Every single day we come up with new different things every single day. But if I'm to advise Nigerians, I think at this point we've even advised them enough. They already know what steps to take. It is only screaming, get your PVC, because even though we've not moved to the next story, there've been speculations about this APC administration coming to an end. You understand? So I think they've actually APC have done more harm than good, and they've beaten more than they can chew. So I think it's right time for them to drop the bones. And it can only get better when the citizens take up the power in their hands, just like they took up power, or they have placed them in that position for a very long time, even though we know that there are a lot of electoral malpractices here and there. But at the same time, I think the citizens need to step up. That's
exactly.
And they can only do that with their PVC.
Now they can only do that with their PVCs, but we're also still talking about the fact that APC is seemingly trying to turn Nigeria to a one-party led country. And with what is happening now, we of course we see cases of what's happening in APC from time to time, but it's mostly from the opposition parties. Now seeing what is happening here, do you think that with Kwankwaso returning to APC that it would upset the piece or the structure that they have currently in APC? How do you think that shift will look like?
APC don't even have peace in the first place. They don't have structure. It's just you could see a lot of persons from APC have defected to the coalition ADC. So there is nothing like peace and stability in that system. But however, I think maybe there's possibility of the political atmosphere being shaky, because they have probably structured themselves to an extent, and maybe they have plans, but this new deal of Kwankwaso and the president might actually lead some people that maybe want to attain some political positions. They might not attain it, because this Kwankwaso led this is Kwankwasia movement is kind of demanding something from the president, which it has to do with official positions, main positions, important positions, and which maybe some of the people in APC might actually be trying to vie for the same position. But because of this new demand, and because of the fact that this could actually benefit them, it might actually shake things up a little.
All right, that is well said now, but just to wrap it up now, we're also going to compare that with what is happening with El-Rufai. So we are seeing a battleground now with 2027 coming. Everybody is showing, oh, this is what I have to offer, what are you giving me? Do you think that if the APC accepts Kwankwaso's conditions, do you think that signals desperation on the part of APC, or is it just, are they just bringing everybody they can bring in order to restore or to ensure that the president, secures his second tenure?
I think, this thing is a selfish game. You get, everybody want to attain that golden cup. Everybody want to win, so they will do literally anything possible to make sure that they win the election 2027. You could see PDP on the other end, even though some persons are saying it's dead and buried, they're equally fighting for that presidential position. And
everybody wants to rule Nigeria.
Yes, and same thing with this coalition too. They're equally fighting. So if this particular one will give them that political stand or ground or more power against other parties, why won't they embrace it? They will definitely embrace it. But at the same time, I still feel that there are literally other things they can actually do to garner support to themselves rather than doing this. They might equally chew the man and drop him off. But I believe that if they restructure themselves, because the political atmosphere in Nigeria is kind of is extremely weak. Okay, so if they could gain the public's confidence that, okay, if you give me a chance 2027, I will prove myself. Those things that you have been clamoring on, I will make sure that I, change those things and do the necessary things that are supposed to be done.
All right. And that's where we're going to call it a wrap on this particular story. And we're moving on to the next headline with El-Rufai again hitting the presidency. Now, El-Rufai came out to say that the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has ambitions of running for a third term. And in fact, being a life president, he's saying this is going to be a second Paul Biya situation that will happen live in Nigeria. And he urged Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to rally people against the president come 2027, so we do not have that in Nigeria. And of course, the presidency came out to refute that and called it unfounded, and accusing El-Rufai now of just trying to destabilize the stability or the hold that the administration has on the masses. But what's your take on that generally?
Okay, maybe his speech or his statements might be kind of exaggerated, but it is implausible. It is not implausible, because there have been situations like this that you see a particular government extending their tenure because they've been in office and they have the power to make some amendments in the constitution. So they have been those what's it called, those times whereby this happens, just like what he talked about, the president of Cameroon. He has been president for a long time, since I think that should be since 1992. You get so, and he then, according to the reports, that he kind of eliminated all his rivals, and he has been topping, or he has been the president up till now. So there've been situations like that, but at the same time, I still feel that it's more like him trying to make APC stand on defense, or trying to make them stand on their toes, because this particular statement, people of the public will now reason, oh, are you sure this is not happening? Especially when I think the special advisor to the president was talking about the son of the president kind of vying alongside,
challenging his father for presidency,
or even running this. So it's kind of like I said that time, it was screaming political dynasty building. At the same time, I don't really know what they are getting at, but I guess we'll still see it unfold. At
the end of the day, we are going to definitely see all of that unfold. But you mentioned something that I also wanted to bring to our notice, the fact that we discussed that the president's son, the president of Sheyi Tinubu, and what the spokesperson came out to say, that with Sheyi Tinubu's background in politics and how he has positioned himself, that he could actually challenge his father for presidency in 2027, and not just that, run for any political party, which of course is his right as a Nigerian citizen, but also even the Lagos state governorship election. And I'm just asking, even though something like this has happened different times in different African countries, like the Paul Biya situation in Cameroon that you just mentioned, it has never happened in Nigeria that way, where a democratically elected president will run for 3 terms. Now, in order to have a life term, you would have to constantly rerun for elections and win those elections, and the constitution only permits 2 tenures. Now, are we seeing, we're not saying that El-Rufai's claims are true, we don't have any research to back that. Now, are we saying that even if the president does not himself run for the 3rd time, maybe his son, like what the spokesperson said, would be the one to now come after Tinubu is done ruling? Sheyi Tinubu will now take up that position. Do you see that happening?
It is a possibility, because this is Nigeria, anything is possible. But
even with the gentleman rule, where you have the North rule for 8 years, the South, and then the rest, do you think that would happen?
Like I said, it's possible, because when we see one person in charge of power controlling all the affairs of the state or Nigeria. And alongside, I don't know why I always mention that man Wike. They are more like the main people that is ruling Nigeria, so they can actually amend the constitution. But if we should, follow the constitution, then there is no possibility for them to, that's their family name, Tinubu, is it Tinubu?
Tinubu, yes.
To remain in office, because constitutionally it is illegal.
It is illegal. It is illegal. But we've also seen, if you're being honest, some illegal appointments happen, especially with the River State situation, calling a state of emergency.
Not presidency.
Yes, I'm just saying, in political public offices, we've seen that happening in states, right? If after states, the next thing is the federal government. So we've seen that happen in River State, where a state of emergency was, called, and then a military administrator was imposed. And not just that, it didn't end there. This administrator illegally conducted elections in the state. Now, after he's done, they are trying to probe into the 6 months that he spent in office, and of course, he will not answer you people, because at the end of the day, he was not the people that appointed him. He's only answerable to the presidency and to the executive. So we've already started seeing things that we know is illegal, something that we know is impossible to happen in a sane democratic climate, happening in states in Nigeria here. And it only begs the question, how sure are we that this won't transcend to the federal government with a life presidency, something as a life presidency happening for the first time in Nigeria? And will it now be from this current administration? Anyways, they have come out to refute that, because Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a Democrat and he was democratically elected, he would not rule beyond 2031. That's if he's re-elected after his second term. You want to buy him?
No, I did not say so.
You said it was like, of course, everybody is uncertain whether we leave, or because I was just thinking about the election.
By 2031.
I will be older. I will be older. So yes, at the end of the day, if he is like what Ifoma said. Anyways, just one more question. You are the one that said it. One more question. But do we think that El-Rufai, with all of this statement, is testing the waters for his own personal ambition?
No, I don't think he even have that interest
in running for presidency.
Yes, running for presidency. I think what he's after is kind of ensuring that he replaces Tinubu, because I think they have a past.
Okay.
Tinubu and El-Rufai, they have a past, and there were things that he wanted to gain from Tinubu which he did not. So he's kind of forming that force, that movement to unseat.
So it's personally inclined now. It's just personal business.
He has come out to say that he's not interested in the presidency, office.
A lot of people are coming to say they're not interested, and they still ran.
But I think he was rooting. He was actually rooting for Atiku Abubakar to, run. But at the same time, the presidency have actually refuted these allegations. And they've said that he has said that he doesn't have any plan of running for 2027 election. But if I'm to say anything again on this matter, I think they are already kind of unsettled with this unrest, because El-Rufai has fueled this in people's mind, and if the president don't do the necessary things, people might start feeling like he wants to continue, or he wants to build that political dynasty. So I think probably what they would do in this situation is any discuss that has to do with re-election, they should actually make it public. And from
they have made it public.
From now upward, I think maybe any speech they are making, they should equally refer to not coming for 2027 election.
No, 2031. They said they are coming for 2027.
2031.
Yes.
People need to know that they are not, so that we can equally document it if anything like that happens.
If it's by documentation, there are so many things that have been documented that we couldn't hold the president by. When he came out to say that if he does not give us electricity, we should not vote for him for the second time. What is happening now?
I know, but then again, people like independent Electoral Commission have a role to play here, and the courts, the judiciary have a role to play here. I think all of them literally have to ensure that he keeps to this.
All right, role players, roles. We've not seen them actually live up to those roles. They say to him much is given, much is expected. I think Nigerians for a long time have expected so much, especially from these independent bodies, and they have fallen short on their promises to Nigerians. It would be really remarkable to see a turnaround in that attitude and see them actually hold the presidency, and not just the presidency but everybody really accountable moving forward. But this is what we're going to call it a wrap on the show. Wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, Ifoma Oji, for doing this with me. As always, such a pleasure. Fun conversation, just not fun topics. To our VIP viewers, thank you for doing this. We appreciate all your likes, your comments and your shares. We do appreciate, we see you, and we encourage you to do more. Please share this video to your friends. It is a way of becoming an active citizen. Enrich yourself with knowledge of what is happening in your country. And not also, if you're not subscribed to our YouTube, please endeavor to do so as well. Follow us across all social media platforms. It's Active Citizens, and find me on my personal page at Sharon Enemchukwu. And you
can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at Misolex.
All right, till we see you tomorrow, do have a good evening.